And I guess we're live.
Yes, we are. That little timer says up there. It's counting up.
Yeah, it was quick. Sometimes it comes up and it takes a little bit to get going here, but we are live. So we just want to come on and say hi. Ron and I want to come on and say hi to everybody and kind of catch everybody up to what's going on or what's not going on or all kinds of things like that. So the show hasn't been weekly since probably the disaster that happened at my house late this summer. And then once I recovered from my basement issues and a few other things, I went right into busy season.
Yeah, you're flat out.
I am going just about every day. I don't know how it happened, but it just did. The schedule now is overloaded. I'll get a reprieve at Thanksgiving and Christmas, but boy, oh boy, it is. Yeah, my schedule has just been crazy. I've been just going from rink to rink to rink to rink to rink. So, and then then I had a bad doctor visit about 3 weeks ago. I got a follow up next week. Who knows? Things might be going in the right direction. We'll find out. But
Stuff's been going pretty well.
Some things have been going. Nothing's gotten worse. Let's put it that way. And I don't want to get into too much of it, but it's the same. Some of the same things I went through 3 years ago, and here I am again trying to fix that. Plus some other issues, which I was happy this morning with some of the test results this morning. So I was like, okay, so maybe we're going in the right direction. So, everything's. I guess you'd say everything's fine with the show. It's just
there's nothing between us or
no. We still talk multiple times a day.
Mm-hmm.
It's just my personal life just around the house here was a mess, and then we had the wife had surgery and the dog had surgery, and I'm looking at surgery. So I mean, it's just a whole bunch of
same doctor between the wife and the dog.
Yeah, I wonder if I could have got a combined rate. You know what I mean? But it's just been one thing after another.
Call Flo from Progressive. I bet she could have set some sort of rate for you.
Yeah, it says Ron seems really low. See if I can bump Ron up a little bit.
You seem really loud on my end. Oh, by the way.
All right, I'll come back a little bit. Let's bump Ron up.
Ron's been bumped.
All right, Ron has been bumped.
Sorry, Matt Damon, we couldn't have you on tonight.
I don't know I guess my volume will be controlled with my board here, so I'll drop it down a little bit. So hopefully, Ron, say a few syllables.
A few syllables.
Yeah, I think you're up a little louder now.
Okay.
So, Steeler fan dropping by. Hello, Digital to Dice. Jeremy stopping by.
Hello, Jeremy.
Al, Red Sox fan.
Don't you love his new avatar? He told me who made that.
That looks neat.
It doesn't. That's the old Red Sox logo from the 60s and 70s. If you were to park around the stadium, that's what you would see.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember that. Steve Tower coming by. Good to see Steve. Charles coming by. He said, thanks for adjusting the volume. Replay Gamer, I've been watching your APA stuff. It's been fun. I think I was watching that today. I was at the hospital today getting something done. And I think I had you on at the hospital watching you play some APA today. So like I said, we just haven't had a good time to record. We were going to do it yesterday. Ron got his COVID shot yesterday, so he was kind of knocked out. Tonight we had thought about it, but after I get out of the hospital, I was kind of bummed out with some things, and I just didn't really, I don't know. So then we said, well, let's go on and chat. Let's just say hi to people. We'll chat. And that way we can just kind of get our faces back out here. I think tentatively we're looking for Sunday to record.
So, yeah.
Because I'm working, on top of my regular jobs, I got games Thursday, Friday, Saturday night, and Monday. So it just doesn't end right now. They did what was neat. I don't know if you saw that. The Cyclones, the junior team, they put together a montage of the 14 goals they scored this weekend in their games, and it looked really good, and it was me on the play-by-play, so I shared that to the Digital to Dice Facebook group, and it was just like, now Jamfa scores, 1-0 Cyclones, and now it's Doherty to Tremblay, he scores, and it was just like one after another. It was really cool the way they did that. Yeah, so finally I could show off some of the play-by-play stuff, because usually it's on Twitter, and you got to go to Twitter. But this was right on Facebook, and they were all like steamrolling one after another, so it was kind of neat. Yeah, so that was kind of neat. Bernie stops by.
Well, Bernie.
And Steeler fan says, I thought there was an issue between the two, and he knew it was Ron. Yes, it was Ron.
Hi Doug. Ever since the Astros got beaten the World Series on my replay, he's just been on me. I have just felt the icy snap of a dead person's buggy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
the good, if there's any good news aside from, like I say, some of the things going on with me
Well, you've
and
been
my
playing
health,
again.
I'm playing again. I
Yeah.
am. In fact, I just put it away. Actually, been playing my Strat-o-matic. I got that over here. Studio A is right here next to me, by the way. And so the other day I was playing some tests here on YouTube with Strat-o-matic Advanced, and struggled a little bit because I had the old set of cards for 79, and then I pulled out my 1976 set of cards.
Which were redone last year or this year?
This year, I think. Yeah.
Okay.
These are the ones that were really thin. They were like a Post-it. You know what I mean? It's like, but I think I mentioned on the show that when I was playing, when you're playing, the thin cards really didn't bother me all that much.
They shouldn't.
Because I know you like a nice thick card and the whole bit, but I was playing with these. I was like, I didn't really have an issue with it. So
the thing is, unless you intend to do a major project with it, they should hold up.
Yeah, they seemed fine. They seemed okay. So I've been playing some of that. I just finished a game over here today that I started the other day. It was 76 Red Sox and the Orioles. And a couple of home runs in that game. It was kind of neat. And what I am enjoying the Advanced. The more I play Advanced, I like it a little bit more than Basic. And one of the things I really do like, the Basic flows. The Basic is like boom, 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 boom. That's what I like about it. The thing that I do like about Advanced is it starts to incorporate more of the individual players, especially on the running and the steals. Like the steals in Basic are just kind of like boom, When you get to the Advanced stealing, it's a little bit more, holding the runner matters a lot more. The catcher's arm matters, things like that. And even the running. And I had a situation just now in my game where I had I think it was the bases loaded. Sox were down 2-1, and I want to say Burleson singled, and he drove home Rice. And Rico Petrocelli was at second. And I was like, well, do I send him? So to send
What's
him.
his speed? 9, 8,
1 to 8. Yeah, it was 1 to 8.
God.
But he wasn't held, so I added 1, and the outfielder, whoever it was, added 1. So I had a 50% chance of tying the game. So I said, something, I'm gonna send him, and I rolled a 15, so he was out. But I like the fact that there's a little bit going on there between the runner and how many outs are they being held, and the fielder's arm. And I think it's just enough. If I had to do any more than that, it would be kind of confusing. But just that little bit is enough for me to say, okay. And what I do is on the score sheets now, I kind of jot down everybody's their fielding, their error, and their arm strength. So I have it all right here, so I really don't have to look that far. And that makes it pretty good too. So I've been enjoying that. And just before we get going here, I set up the Strat-o-matic PC baseball game, and I set it for all Advanced, and I started to play a game in 1980, and no, you were right. I don't even think it shows the Super Advanced symbols on here. I don't know
Probably
if it
not.
does or not.
Probably not.
So it was not confusing at all. So I'm reading the things down. Oh, I get this and I get that. So I'm getting a little bit better Advanced, and I'm really kind of enjoying the Advanced. Like the first couple of games out of the gate, I struggled a bit, but I am enjoying.
First one you played was late at night, or late after you did the triple header, and it went 13,000 innings, and you were so wiped by the end of that. We're just putting a runner on second. I could just hear.
Yeah, I was. I think I had done a couple of games that day, and I come home and I was tired as JT stops by. Yeah. Thin cards might be good if you have a cold too. I'm not sure what that means. Okay. David C. Hi, David. Hey, David. Steve says I like the thick cards. Cannot lie, but the thin cards are fine too. Yeah, I was surprised at that.
I like thick cards, and I cannot lie. Okay, Steve, we know where you're going with that.
Yeah, okay. I didn't pick up on that. as Michael and
Andrew.
Andrew come by. Oh yeah, the payoff pitch cards are unmatched. Yeah,
Yes,
I
they
need to
really
get
are.
back to. I need to get back to the payoff pitches.
How you doing,
SDG
Ken?
replays comes by. Thanks for coming by. I need to get back to the payoff pitch because I put that aside. I bought a couple of seasons. I printed out a season. That's such a good value. Payoff pitch. Their
Best cards
cards
in the
are the
business.
best cards in the
Absolute best
business,
cards in the
and
business.
the price is very, very reasonable. I'll say. And even the PDFs are reasonable if you want to get your own PDFs on that. But I just found that game, I found to be a little too much. Even with the fast action cards, I found there was like way too much going on for me to think. And I liked it at first, but then the more I played it, the more confused I got. And but now that I've kind of tackled the Strat Advanced, maybe the payoff pitch would come a little bit easier. And Sports Time Machine, the Mike, yeah. I did survive Strat Advanced. I just played another game today before we sat down, and I was setting it up on the computer. Ron suggested to play it on the computer in advanced mode, and maybe that would help me out a little bit. And I think it has. What's been fun is I dove back into the rule book because I was looking at when Petrocelli, I was talking about coming home to score. I was looking at his runner rating, but there were 2 outs. And so I know that there's 2 outs that you add 2 to the runner. But when I went back and looked at the instructions, when you can only add 2 to the lead runner. So with the bases loaded, he was at second, so I wouldn't add 2 for him. So I would just add.
Why was he being held at second base? He's not a threat to steal.
No, but what I'm saying is that
Right.
with 2 outs, the lead runner only, I think, gets the +2. So if it was first and second, I would have added 2 because he's going out the crack of the bat. But it said, so I didn't give him the +2.
What was it? A single?
It was a single. But there was no dots, so I could send him home. And I had to challenge the arm.
He would have been the lead runner then, because that runner on third would have automatically scored. You don't need, because the runner on third scores on the single. So Petrocelli is the runner that you're being told.
I interpreted that as the lead runner being the first guy.
No.
That's how. Well, if there was first and second, the lead runner's the man on second. So that's what I went with. I don't see what the chat room says. How would the chat room play that? Is the lead, if bases loaded, is the lead runner third? Is the lead runner second?
Lead runner automatically scores.
Yeah, he would. Yeah. So in either case, I wrote a 15, so he was
Wouldn't
out.
have mattered, but
Wouldn't have mattered, but yeah. So I was wondering, because I gave him 1 because it wasn't being held, and I gave him 1 for the outfielder's arm. I think it was Bumbry or something in the outfield. So we went from 8 to 10. And if I had added the 2 for 2 outs, it would have been 8 to 12. He still would have been out.
Yeah.
But, am I going to play any more Hockey Bones? Yes, I am. The problem is I just haven't played anything until the last few days when I pulled out Strat baseball and I was playing some of that. Then I tried the advance. So I'm just getting back into playing. But as we were talking about, I am just out straight working, plus some health issues. Kind of has me down a little bit right now. So I just haven't had a chance to set up, because it's a deal. When I play Hockey Bones or APA, any hockey game I play, it's a big setup, and I just haven't had a chance to set it up. And then I'd have to go back and review how to play it again, because it's one of those games that it's going to take me a few minutes to get back up to speed, because I haven't played it in so long. Sean comes by. Things are okay, I guess. I think they're getting better. 2 outs, they all would be going on contact, but again, the rules state that the lead runner gets a +2. That's what it didn't say. Everybody gets a +2.
No, it's the runner that you're making the play at the plate.
So Joe Murdy seemed to think that the runner at third with the bases loaded is the lead runner, even though he scores automatically. Technically, he's I don't know. I guess it's open to interpretation on that. But it has been fun playing that. I'm trying to think what else is going on. Oh, the dog he's been doing very well. I got to say that we were kind of concerned after the first week that he was still hobbling pretty well on that leg and not really using it as much as he should. And we just get up the other day, and next thing you know, he's running up the stairs. He's going outside by himself. He's jumping up on the bed. So he seems to be doing much better this week. Now, it's only been, it'll be 2 weeks Friday. So
Friday, right? Yeah.
So it hasn't even been 2 weeks, but he's doing well. So that made me feel better when I saw the dog was doing better. So that's good. And like I said, myself doing a little bit better. My numbers are better. I lost some weight, which is good. Now, if I could just keep it off and keep going in the right direction, I'd be even happier. You know, it helps that I played hockey again last night, and then I refereed. So I skated for 2 hours last night. I've been doing the fasting thing, which I never did before. Whereas I try not to eat after 7 or 8 o'clock at night, and I would always eat. I'd come on here, and I'd have something, either a sandwich or popcorn or chips, or I'd always be eating something at night when I did this stuff. But now I've been stopping, and then I don't eat till 8 or 9 in the morning, so I'm going about 12 hours. And they say to go 16, but I'm gonna start with 12, and I think that's been helping. In general, I think I feel a little better.
Good.
At least I'm trying to feel better. Tommy Ball Game stopping by. Better late than never. Yep. Andrew, glad to hear the pup's doing better. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. I was kind of bummed. It took him a little while to kind of get up to speed, but and he's got to go down the stairs, down my deck to go pee outside. So, and Steeler fan says he found the weight that I lost, but I like it back. No, I really kind of want to go in that direction. I really do want to take off some weight, and I want to hit some numbers I haven't hit in 10 years. And I'm not that far away from that. But it's just, tough and busy season. As you know, it's just, I talked to the guy today that does all the camera work, and we were talking. He's just like, he goes, man, I'm putting on weight, and I just can't eat right because I'm on the road. And he's going from Connecticut to New Hampshire.
Wow.
Like all the time, yeah. And so he's got a longer drive than me.
Eat right on the road.
Yeah, even myself, it's like, you stop at Dunk's and you get a sandwich. It's not the best thing in the world, but if you're up there and you're hungry, like Burger King's the closest place,
So, there's Subway, but it's not real portable, and it's really not that much better for you.
Yeah, I sometimes will pack I'll make like a ham sandwich or something here at the house and throw it in the bag, or take a banana, or I take these it's kind of like an Atkins things where it's like little protein bars, and they have sugar and carbs, but they're way down compared to a candy bar. Like if you took a Snickers bar and took one of these things, it's like, it's ridiculous, And SDG says intermittent fasting works. Well, I've been trying it for 3 or 4 weeks. We'll see. Was it? I'm trying to can't
not
read
really
that.
Isn't agree about Subway. It's like
Subway's okay. We had one up here. I don't know if it's still open or not, but I haven't. It's in a yucky part of town. I don't like going up there. It's like right at a set of lights. So when you come out of there, sometimes you can never get out of there if it's a busy time of day.
Thing with Subway is if it's right off the interstate, or where like with any of the other places, what you're getting. But if there's one a couple doors down from where I am, and there's lots of better places to get sandwiches if that's your thing. So you know what you're getting.
There's a funny Subway story. I've been listening to a lot of Reddit stuff. I love listening to the Reddit stuff on YouTube, but people narrate Reddit stories, and it's about work and relationships and, anything, you know what I mean? What's the scariest thing that ever happened? Stuff like that. And they had one about work. It's like, when did you see somebody get fired? Excuse me. And it was a Subway story about this kid that that was working there, that would make the sandwich for the people and stamp the card, but never gave them the card. And so all these people would come in, and he'd be like, snip, snip, snip. So by the end of the day, he'd have free subs, and he would cash in the card and take the sub. And he had this little racket going. And he wasn't necessarily stealing from the company. It's just when he punched the ticket, he never handed the ticket to the people so they could get, after 5 punches, a free sub.
Right.
And so they would come in, and by the end of the day, he had all these cards that were legitimately punched with purchases, but he would keep them and then turn it in and get free subs. And he did that for a while, and finally they said, yeah, this is really not going to work anymore. It's not how it was designed to go. But it was kind of neat,
That's wild.
Yeah. It's about finding out what works for you and sticking to it.
Yep.
Yes, it is. Yeah, it is, And, it's some of the stuff's not easy to do, especially when you're on the road. It's like, what do we eat? What do I do? But I usually stand when I do the play-by-play, so I get a lot of exercise by standing. Sometimes I'll sit during whistles, but, I'm up and down. Cleveland baseball fan stopping by.
How you doing, Tim?
So So yeah, so Digital to Dice, we're still here. It's in our schedule's just been rocked a little bit with me and my work, and then Ron's got some things going on with him too, with his caregivers and this and that. So I've been unsteady with my streams. We haven't found a great time to record
Right.
the podcast just because the last couple weeks been nutty. But even your streaming schedule has been a little weird too, right?
Have people during the morning hours now, which I hadn't had before, or at least mid morning, late morning. And so just trying to get them all squared away and then have the energy to go on for an hour or so. So yeah, well, haven't found the right balance for that, but we're not going anywhere.
Yeah, it just thinks it was pretty consistent, especially in the summer when things were a little bit slower. And like I say, before I had the flood down here, I was going at a pretty good clip, and that just kind of set me for a loop and in whichever. Let's talk about some fun things though. So, Strat-o-matic sent out this really what kind of email was it? A very
Oh my gosh, it's a tease.
Yeah, it is. It is. They said a teaser of an email today. Very. I don't want to say deceptive is not the word. It's what's the word I'm looking for? They sent cryptic. Cryptic.
Yeah.
They sent a very cryptic email out to like some big notification coming up, and people are speculating what it is.
Huge announcement.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a big one. I will say that they took a couple of ribbing in their comments. You see Kurt Berglund posted, "Is it thin cards?" That was funny.
Are the New York teams going to get better range play calls? Too. That was
yeah. There's a few funny ones in there. They were just kind of ribbing them a little bit, but I'm interested to see what it is. I hope it's something good. I hope it's something I can use. I hope it's not something, like I don't play the Strat 365. So if it's something like, hey, we're expanding the 365, that means nothing to me.
Right.
So I'm kind of hoping it's something. Yeah, Cleveland baseball fans, all their seasons available for PDF. Probably not. Yeah.
I'd like to know what you've been drinking.
Yeah.
Holiday sale, a little early for that.
Yeah, I know Black Friday's coming up in a couple weeks. In fact, we got to start digging for that. I got to find some time to get out. That's one of our favorite shows is the Black Friday sale. So in fact, that should be not next week, the week after, right?
Yes.
Because Thanksgiving's late this year, I think. I think it's in the fourth week. So so not next week, but the week after. So we got to get on. In fact, I'm going to make myself a note right now. Tell Jucket to get going on Black Friday sale.
We're not, and for the response from there as well, whatever we did last year, it's not going on the show.
Yeah.
We're giving you the free ad to 750 to 1,000 people. You can do the work to tell us what you have on sale.
Yep. So we'll poke around. I already got a couple of people writing into us that beat us to the punch, which is good. But we'll try to jump on that and get some sales going for that. I get excited about that too because I like to see if I can add a few seasons or a new game or something like that.
My cat is offering only fan memberships for only $7,000.
And Larry's stopping by. Thanks for coming by, Larry.
Thank you, Larry.
Yeah, we just want to say hi to people tonight and just catch up with people because we've been a little off of the show. Steeler fan, I have it on good authority that it's not a Brown Super Bowl season.
Ha!
If it was old days of Strat, I think it'd be Hal is staying with the same size coffee, so tacked on fees will stay the same. To be fair, they've been good the last couple of years, he said, yeah.
Strat Black for basketball, right?
Yeah. Hi, Michael. Thanks for coming by. 1933 could be an NFL championship season. Yeah. Interesting. I've heard a couple things. One thing I heard was the print on demand, which would be nice. I mean, I know it'd be a little bit more, but if I could go back and get, I'd love to get 79 with the new cards because I do have it in the old cards, but I love the new cards. Maybe even 78 too. Those are my go-to seasons with Strat, and that seems to be my tabletop game of choice as far as baseball goes right now. Nothing against APA, but just right now I'm in a Strat mode. That could change at any time, and I could go right back to the APA because I do like that as well. But it would be nice to kind of round out some seasons. Maybe pick up Yeah, 1995 isn't bad. Cleveland baseball fan right there. I was gonna pick that up in Appa, but I want to say it was well over $100, and I don't want it that bad, you know.
I'm under the impression that people are testing something from what I was reading
Hmm.
today. So I think it's in the electronic realm. Now, again, it could be just an expansion of the 365 to other things. It was posted on their unofficial official board in all four of their sports, but I think it's something. I don't think it's just something that basic. Although for people who want to do that for basketball and hockey, that could be quite fun.
Be interesting to see. I hope it's something again that'll interest me. You know, because sometimes they come out with these things and it's just that's great for a lot of people, but I just don't use it. You know.
Could be that they could also be doing an app for their other sports because hockey goes back, I think, to 45, 46 on the PC.
Yep.
Oh, that would be tough to do playing one card at a time on a mobile app. Baseball, you can do. But I just maybe it's something like that they're, I don't know. We'll find out in 4 days.
Larry, I was just going to show this. So Larry's asking what my drink of choice is tonight. I just picked this up. This is the Polar Black Cherry.
I used to drink that.
Okay. Now this is I like drinking these seltzer things here. It's calorie free. It's caffeine free. It's it's got something in there that's probably not good for you, but it's like zero carbs and zero sugar. So that's what I tend to drink at night now instead of diet soda. So I like my flavored seltzers. The flavor's kind of weak. Not gonna lie, it's not like a regular soda. The black cherry though, it's almost like a Dr Pepper. It kind of tastes like a real light Dr Pepper. You know what I
I
mean?
used to drink those.
Let me see. Please expand the Strat app to include hockey. That might, yeah. I mean, maybe.
I don't know how you would do it though to flip
Yeah.
back and forth. Unless you, I don't know if you're able to print those cards or what.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I'm not sure. Doug says Hockey Blast Express is expected to be released soon. Yeah, I would imagine to see that on Black Friday.
yeah.
You know,
Have a
I don't know
couple.
if I'm gonna get that or not. That's one game I don't play a lot of is the Hockey Blast. It's one of, again, love hate relationship. Sometimes you play it and you have a great game. Another time you get on a rabbit hole. It's just like, oh my gosh, this is just, let's just get this game over with. But
Yeah.
I still like golf. I think golf is they're one of my favorite games to play is the play golf game. I really do. Nate, I don't have Face to the Mat, so I can't play that. That's one game I don't have. I do have a bunch of play games, but I don't have that one. I need to do more second season. I've been seeing Steve Tower play the second season there, and it's got me itching. I want to play a football game. I don't know if I'm gonna do like a second season or a solitaire pro football, or I need to get back to the PC to my pro strategy football 96 season. That was kind of fun. But I wanted to roll some dice with something, kind of like a Downey final score or something like that, where I could kind of just play out a season.
Strategy pro football is solitaire pro football is such an underrated game.
Yeah,
Real
it is.
fantastic game.
It's just a long game, like all the other
It's a long.
play-by-play games.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'd like to pull out a Downey final score game and just roll some dice, or even the Mike Sealock 2-minute drill is super fun to play.
Mike from the
know?
Turks got into solitaire quick score game.
Yeah, I was watching. He did a video on that today. I was
Yep.
watching that. That looked kind of neat. It was kind of a drive-by-drive type of game. I
Yep.
think it was. And it was kind of neat. It's like offense, defense weighted. I did kind of like that. Nerd practitioner Pepper, yeah. You know, I saw the nurse practitioner when I went in a few weeks ago. I kind of liked her a little bit better than the doctor. I don't know why. Just sometimes you just click with somebody.
Yeah.
You know, and it just works. And sometimes someone's got a better bedside manner, you know, or whatever it is. But it just so I asked for her. I says I want to have you back. You know. So she's the one that found all my things when I was there. She's like, well, we got to fix this. We got to fix that. We got to fix this. I'm like, well, but the way she said it was pretty good, you know.
Yeah. It's important.
And Mike says he doesn't think Strat 79's been updated, so maybe that's why. So that is that. And well, you could have to take screenshots from your phone and use a cable to transfer the phone to PC. That's how you see my Strat app for baseball on my PC. Interesting. Okay. Hopefully, an overhaul of the baseball PC game, says Tony. It'd be nice if they kind of did. Yeah, I mean, maybe have two versions, the old school and then the newer one be updated, because I would love to see that. I really would. Yeah, Nate likes the Fast Drive football. Yeah, I was looking at that the other day. I went through my files and was digging out my Fast Drive football to make sure I had it. Do you know what I couldn't find? Again, I have my new computer here, and I bought it this summer. But, like I said, because of everything that happened down here, I haven't really... I thought I had everything transferred over. And so I was playing my Strat and my this, and I said, something, my friend at the print shop, I says, I'm going to send him over a season ticket, baseball season, and see how much it would cost to print them and see how much it would cost to print and cut them, just to get an idea, see where I stand. And I couldn't find my PDFs for season ticket. And I was like, what do I do? I know I bought a bunch of seasons, and I'm going through all my thumb drives. It's like, man, I don't know if I have to fire up my old computer. I don't even know if it still works. The last time I fired it up, it didn't find the D drive, which is why I bought a new computer. So I don't know if I had to, if I was going to have to rip the hard drive out. I think you can pull a hard drive out of an old computer and do something with it to access it,
Yeah, you can install it.
As a USB or something like that.
Yeah.
Or just something so I can get the data. Well, I did end up finding a little thumb drive that had all my season ticket PDFs on there, so I did find it. So, but I couldn't for the longest time. It's like, where the heck's my season ticket PDFs? It's like, don't tell me I lost them. RJL stopping by.
How you doing?
Thanks for coming by here today. Joel, Adam Richard says there's a new way to lay out the game, so it has to be a smartphone app. Interesting.
I would think that if they could get that to work right, they would own the industry.
Yeah, you've been saying for a long time, if it's mobile,
you've got to put games in the hands of people who have 5 or 10 minutes to kill, because everyone's on their phones.
What do you think about if it was an iPad app that you could play the game on?
Again, that's portable. Everyone has a tablet. I mean, tablets are cheap.
I would love that, because a lot of times I sit upstairs or I'll sit down here and I'll have like the hockey game on or football game, or just be chilling out. And I'll have the tablet out, and I got a couple games I play on it, but to play a game of Strat while sitting there just kind of...
I honestly think, because I think even the Amazon Fire, which I believe is what you can see in my background here with, Madam Speaker, I believe it's an Android-based operating system. So, so theoretically,
I would do that even at the rink. If I, when I'm scorekeeping a game or something like that, have a game of Strat baseball going on. I would do that. Yeah, that'd be kind of fun. Steve Tower, he's caught the full play football bug for sure. I saw that he had the Al Wilson FAC deck to speed up the game. Yeah, I was looking into that. I'd like to see how that works. I don't know if there's a video on there that shows how those cards work or not. So I don't know if it flips, if it does the play, if it does the defense. I know it's got dice rolls on there, but I wasn't exactly sure what the fast action cards did. But if it sped things up, then yeah,
I know that Al's fast hitting baseball is going to come out before Christmas.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And the new version of Pocket Pennant 3, I believe, is due out soon.
Yes, yeah, we're gonna have those guys on again to see what's going on with Pocket Pennant 3. They got an announcement coming up. I don't know if it's tonight or tomorrow night or Friday night, but I saw that they were gonna post something. Larry says good hockey game tonight. LA at Vegas. Yeah, LA. I saw what are they 9-2, and Vegas is like 11-1. So we got a couple of really, really good teams playing in the NHL. I looked down the bottom. The Sharks are like 9-1.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know if the Sharks have won a game yet. Imagine starting off like that, losing, winless in 10 or 11 games. That's a bad start to the season.
I know Montreal took Vegas to a shootout. They lost, but they took. I was pretty happy. They took Vegas to a shootout.
Oh, yeah.
That's a moral victory.
Yes, it is. Yeah, for Montreal it is.
Yeah.
I played some shootout the other night, I think, didn't I?
Yes.
The fast action cards.
You did Boston and Vegas, and then you did something after.
I did Boston Vegas from last year.
Those
I
are
think
two
that
fun teams.
I think that went to overtime actually. And then I did a game from '74. I think I did like the Rangers Blues. I think I did. I don't know why, but I think I did the Rangers and the Blues. Yeah, because Davidson was in net for the Blues in 74, 75. I don't know if this is rookie season or not, but yeah, I played a couple of games of that. ID Jester's been playing some shootout hockey, so that's been fun to watch. Yeah, he started rolling the dice, and when I went into his stream, I was like, get the fast action cards. You'll
Yep.
love it. And so he printed them out, and he did the fast action cards, and I think he really did like the fast action cards better for that game. It just made it flow a little bit better. But he seemed to really enjoy it. He seemed to really enjoy playing the shootout hockey. So I was glad to see that. What would people want in an overhaul to the baseball PC game? Play animations? I don't know if it'd be so much the play animation, but for me, just an updated look to it. I mean, even when the player cards come up, sometimes they're hard.
I think the cards looking more like the printed cards would be a huge plus.
Yeah, something like that. I mean, just make it bigger, brighter, better. I mean, it works, it functions, but I mean, if you could just update the look of it, especially with the hockey, make the hockey bigger. You have this tiny rink on this screen that's like this. It's
Yeah.
make that rink bigger. Let's see everything. Spread it out. Let's see. Let's look at everything. So that's what I would like to see. Just an updated way to do it. Oh, here's an interesting thing.
Yes.
Do you think they would put Strat Baseball on Steam?
No. No.
Interesting announcement if it would be, right?
It would be quite curious to do, but because of their authorization system, I can't see them doing that. I mean, thankfully, we got away from having key discs
Yeah.
for seasons. I just think that would be.
You remember when you bought software back in the day and you had to put something in the back of the computer to make it to run?
I remember Code Wheels.
I remember having something, and I don't know what port it was in the back of the computer. I don't know if they had USB back in the day, but
Serial port, or you would put it.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah,
printer or something like that.
Yeah, when we worked at the trophy shop, we had engraving software, and it came with a key, and this software was like $800 or $900, which was a lot back in the day. I think it was hundreds of dollars, and if you didn't have this key in the back of the computer, the software wouldn't run. So that's how they got around that back in the day. So that way you couldn't share the software. I mean, you could, but it wouldn't run. And they do make a hard drive dock that attaches to USB. I think that's what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to take my hard drives out of that old computer, because I was going to fire that up and use that in Studio A, but now the Studio A is here. I don't think I need to. What I might do, and I don't know if it's possible, I'd like to run a second monitor over here, because I got a bigger table over here, and then set up the overhead camera and maybe stream from over here. But I guess this would work over here fine too. No sense doing all that. Jim stops by. Great to see our smiling faces. Smiling faces. RJL, he has the facts for second season. They pretty much almost do everything for you. Okay, good. I'm going to have to check that out. Steve Tower, fat cuts for second season can be used to call both offense, defense, and handles all die rolls. Okay. I'd like to roll my own dice in that, but I mean, if I could set up the play, if I could go like boom, boom, and set up the play, then roll the dice, I might do that. There's something about dice rolls on fast action cards that I don't care for. Even with shootout hockey. They have the dice rolls on there. When it calls for a dice roll, I roll my dice. That's just me. Even with
it's
payoff
random.
Pitch.
Unless you're doing something that's fast action on the computer and it's an eternal draw. It's not a random draw. If you know that the two fours are out there, then or whatever.
Yeah. So I don't like the dice rolls on the card, but everything else on the card I'm okay with. But I like to roll my own dice. Just me. Midlife Crisis comes by.
John.
Mm-hmm. And the Sharks won a game last night. Who'd they play last night? Was it Anaheim they played last night? I forget. So they're 1-10-1. And what Steve said, yep. Oh, the Sharks beat Philly. Oh, that is so good. I have Flinner, my buddy Flinner down there. All his buddies are Flyers fans because they're down in the Philadelphia area. So it's just kind of funny when the Flyers lose these bad games. I they're out of their mind. They want to fire the coach and close the arena and the whole bit. Move the team to Saskatchewan. It's funny seeing them kind of lose their minds there. And Robert says some of the PC games are still stuck in the DOS ages. Yeah, some of them are, and it'd be nice to see them updated to modern computers. And and we talk about this on the show a lot. And Ron brings up the fact that there's still people out there playing Strat that are on Windows XP.
Yeah.
So if you update your software program and now it doesn't work on anything but Windows 10 or 11, you might alienate a lot of people that play your game. Understandable. But if you want to look forward thinking, you got to think about people in the future that are going to have better computers or newer computers. And you want to attract those people because, like I say, some of these games you see, they're not visually pleasing, and it's I'm used to it by now, but I would love to see a more modern look to it. Like I love the look of APA-Go. Okay, I like how that looks. Like the card comes up, you can roll your own dice. It tells you what happened. I really like how APA-Go looks. It's a web-based program, but I mean, visually, I like it. I really do. So if everything could get updated to look like an APA-Go setup, that's all we're asking for. I think
hopefully maybe Adam went to the UK and kidnapped Richard Hanna.
That would be something.
That would be what you would want.
Yeah. And Steelerfield says that the interfaces are from the 80s. Yeah.
But mostly because it is. I remember, however, when the ballpark pictures were in black and white and there was no option to put them in color.
Really?
Yes.
JT Dutch. Oh, we have baseball too at a code wheel. Interesting.
Yep. So we'll see. I'm gonna go put myself out there and think it's gonna be some sort of either web or mobile application. Yes. Code wheel, or look up the word in the line 3, word 7 on page 36.
I remember that. I think I had a football game. I think that was that front page sports football game that I talk about once in a while. The game that Steve Young got hurt in the first series of game 1, and then I quit. I think that was one of those. It was like, okay, page 3, word 16. What is it? And that's how you would fire up the game. Yeah, I do remember that. Remember that quite
There's
well.
A couple of good web documentaries on code, hacking those games. How they went through and from the code wheels and the books to DRM. Just how that process has gone.
Right. Do you know what I was watching the other day? Is just kind of completely off topic here. I love watching different things on like History Channel, YouTube, or whatever. I don't know why my Facebook feed has been filling up with like pyramids and Sphinx photos. And I've always been intrigued by that whole Egyptian, like how did they build that stuff back in the day with that technology? I don't have enough hair
in my head to do the aliens thing, but that's what I would say. Aliens.
Yeah, and but it's just I remember as a kid in school in one of our books, and it showed a picture of the Sphinx with the sand all the way up to here. And now they've somehow removed all the sand and like everything around, and it's this huge thing. It was buried under all that sand. It's like I don't know how long it took them to get rid of the sand. I don't even know how they get rid of the sand because there's a whole no, I was going to call it a plaza, but there's like this little mini temple in front of the Sphinx. So it's like there's all the stuff underneath the sand. So you would have to be real careful pulling the sand out, not to wreck anything. And you unless they did some kind of a X-ray of what was under the sand, they wouldn't know.
That's how they found out what the real size of it was. It had to have been an X-ray.
And then to find out all these little things around there, so you don't want to go in there with trucks and start pulling the sand out and wreck something. So it's like, how would you pull all that sand out? Then you find something. You work. I mean, there's structures, all these structures that were under the sand.
Radar. I bet they could They probably radared it.
I think they might have, yeah. Because even the Colosseum. Like, I don't think it was until recently, because I think even in high school or school, the Colosseum, and it just was the Colosseum. Now they've excavated it, and they found all those tunnels that were underneath, and they've cleaned them all out. So you can actually see all the action that was going on underneath the floor. And they used to, I guess they used to raise things up and bring things down, and which is pretty neat as well. But that's all stuff that, like I said, when I was going to school, you didn't know. But I remember seeing a picture of the Sphinx with the sand up to here, and then they brought it down a little bit, and now it's like, holy cow, this is something else. And the blocks, they're like the size of a car, and there's millions of them. It's like, holy cow, where did they get the blocks? How did they move them? And I love I do like the theories on that. Again, aliens, or is it giants? They had giants back in the day. They said they found a giant graveyard near those things, so maybe the giants were picking them up. I don't know. I always said I would love to get some kind of a time machine and go back and watch some of this
find
stuff.
someone, have them be on the offensive line of a certain giant team?
Oh my god, yeah, no, yeah. Speaking of giants, they're pretty bad, aren't they? And then they lost their quarterback too, right?
We've only lost like 4 this year. Matt Barkley, they've signed from the practice squad to be the backup for the guy for the third stringer, who they didn't trust in their loss to the Jets to throw anything more than the screen. It's a great time to be a Giants fan, let me tell you.
Yeah, Giants and the Jets. Too many quarterbacks going down. I hate to see that. I really do. Wes not going to be happy that this is what I want to do the rest of the night before bed. Is that watch us or play a strat game? Hopefully play a strat game. Playing strat PC game is super advanced. It's so much easier than trying to remember all the rules on a cards and dice game for you anyway. Bernie, I just talking at the beginning of the show here that I started playing advanced. I just set it up just for a couple of minutes, and I just set it up as advanced because that's what I'm playing on the table, and I was enjoying it. I really was, and so I get it. Super's got all this crazy things and ballparks and clutch ratings.
I mean, you can shut all that off and play super advanced too. I mean that's the great thing about strat is add the rules that you like and ignore the ones that you don't.
Right. Right. 007's also a Flyers fan. I'm sorry.
Not sorry. Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. So yeah, I've heard it all. Yeah, I every time they just can't get goaltending. They've had some good teams, and it's just every time you turn on SportsCenter, you see a highlight of a Flyers game. It's like a guy in the corner with one hand on his stick throws it at the net, and it goes over the shoulder, hits his head, and goes in the net. It's always a bad goal. They just can't get goaltending. Brian stops by. Hi, Brian.
How you doing, Brian?
Thank you. Jeff. Do either of you play basketball games? I'm looking at bank shot basketball or replay basketball. I really like to look at the cards. I don't like computer versions as much.
We both played replay on the computer, and you see the full cards.
Yeah, replay does a fantastic job of cards and dice on the computer.
But I have some issues with replay.
Bank shot's new. That's from Payoff Pitch.
Right, that's Joe's newest game.
Right, and I heard it was good, but I don't have it.
I've heard good things about Hoops, which you can buy at asggames.com. It's kind of like Strat. I think they've taken some of the things that they perceived as weaknesses with Strat basketball and kind of made a game based on that. So I would look at that.
I like Strat basketball. They still don't have any seasons for sale.
Yeah, if you're not a fan of the PC games, then Strat's not going to be the game for you unless you're a modern fan.
Yeah, I play. I have a couple of seasons cards and dice. I enjoyed it, the basic mode. I really did. I liked how that worked. How you flip the card, and then you look at the card at the top, and then at the bottom, and it tells you who gets the ball. Then you flip the next card, and it was. I enjoyed it. I did. I enjoyed my time. In fact, I got to organize my basketball cards. I think I have 3 seasons of basketball, maybe 4, and then the card game itself. So, and then I have it on the PC. But I do enjoy the
million seasons on the PC. It really is my favorite basketball game.
Yeah, I think you said that. Yeah. Jamie says, I mentioned in an article in SGJ, I like to see more games, strategy, and strat-based, but not necessarily connect to a card and dice game like Pro Strategy Football.
Now, see, Jamie, I thought years ago, because you and I are pretty close to the same age, Gardner's ancient compared to us, right? That's right. That.
Okay.
You done?
Yeah, I'm done.
You sure? You need some tapioca there, Gramps. I thought back in the. No, let me know. Let me know when you're done. May it please the court. I know you got that one there.
No. I'm not really. No, we want to hear what you have to say. We really
Oh,
do.
you do. All right. May I finish now? May
Yeah,
it
go ahead.
please the court. When these games were kind of coming out in the mid '80s, like micro league baseball, that they were statistical based, but they had graphics to them. That I thought that would be where this type of gaming would go. I mean, there's some of that in the Action PC series for that, but what Kerry has done with Pro Strategy Football has done pretty much what micro league was trying to do close to 40 years ago.
Yeah.
Which is give you a good graphical representation of the game without being bogged. I mean, there's OOTP, of course, but without being bogged down in some of the other things. And so I agree with Jamie. I thought that's where we could go with computers.
I do like with the Pro Strategy Football how he kept those graphics like kind of that Temco Bowl, Nintendo Bowl feel.
Pretty big, yeah.
I like that because they look good enough, but they're not Madden graphics.
Right.
You know what I mean? But I think that's what gives that game the allure. And I keep going back to this baseball game that I can never remember the name of that I played on the PlayStation. It was very similar. And then now they're on version 4, and it might as well be MLB The Show. That's where they went. And I was like, no, when you guys had the cartoony feel to it, it broke away from the mainstream baseball game, and it made it its own thing, you know. And now it's almost like you're trying to compete with MLB The Show now, and that's not what that game was.
Just talking the 3 times that we've talked to Kerry, you know how hard it is to get the simulation and the graphics part right. Now he has people that do the mods and all that, but that is just much harder than you think. Hey, GJ John. So. But yes, I mean, the card and dice stuff is great. It allows me to play the card and dice stuff on the computer. But yeah, I would very surprised if you had asked me at 15 where I thought we would be at 50. Yeah, micro league would have been the direction I thought these games were going to go in.
JT says they've X-rayed the Great Pyramid, and alas, we know how the Egyptians built it.
Oh,
interesting. I heard too, like I say, every now and then I catch a show on this, that they have some Ministry of Truth, for the lack of a better word, over there, right, that they're kind of squashing some things that, you know, people want to go in. Now we have all this technology, we have drones, you know, we just, you know, we probably got these little bugs that are this big that could go in there and photograph the whole thing.
Oh,
and
yeah.
They're not letting them do it. You know, so I don't know if they found something that might turn all this on its head, conspiracy theories, you know, tinfoil hat stuff, or what it is, but they're not granting like all these permits now to go in and look at this stuff anymore, which is too bad because we have the technology now.
It's amazing what we can do
to,
now. Yeah.
To go, you know, before you had the little rovers that could only go so far, and if something was in the way, that was it. But now you can, you know, we could map that whole thing out, and who knows, it might be tunnels through the earth to the other side. You don't know, but from what I hear, that they got some people over there that are not letting that happen, which is too bad, you know. But they have their reasons why they're doing it. There is a belief that the ancients were much more advanced than we give them credit for, but everything was wiped clean by a devastating cataclysm. Thinking about what will be left here in 12 years.
12,000 years, I won't be around.
Yeah, probably not. But yeah, you do wonder about the past. I mean, it was funny how, like I say, they've had the picture. Like I say, remember this picture that they took? I don't know, it was the 1800s, the 1900s, where they quote found the Sphinx buried up to its head in sand, and not in. So what? They didn't know it was there for all those years, or just the sand blew in and no one cared. I mean, what was going on? I mean, you know, they built these things and then they all just kind of left and let them sit in there, you know. So I've always been intrigued by that. I really have. The more that they discover, the more interesting it is.
Oh yeah,
you know. I swear that Mara signed a pact with the devil to beat Brady twice in the Super Bowl in exchange for 50 years of lousy football.
We'll
you might be right.
We'll take it.
You might be right. Larry asks, does Ron do his baseball replays on Action PC because do you think that's the best PC baseball game?
No, I think it gives it enough to show. I think the chalkboard is good enough to actually do it. I think the game plays pretty well. Um, I play a lot of other baseball games besides that, but I think Action PC probably streams the best for what I want it to do. It allows you to be able to see enough what's going on. I guess that would
Okay.
be the way to put that.
007. For me, playing Inside Pitch on the PC, and it's fun and enjoying the game.
Glad you like.
I like the inside sports games. I really do. The things they don't do, though, is sim other games. So you have to play every single game. That's my issue with that game. You can't play a season, or you can do a single team replay, but you're just going to get that team and nothing else. If they could simulate more, I would play more. The inside pitch baseball, I still have a hard time with that game. Whether it's the cards and dice or the computer, I just can't get that one to flow. That's just me. I couldn't get it to flow. I did play it on the computer a little bit. I had some fun with it, but I still don't know if I was playing it right. But I do like how with all their computer games, whether it's the hockey, football, basketball, or baseball, you click around on things that they do a nice job with it.
Yeah, Bill does a good job. Bill Solomon is the programmer for that.
Yeah, I really like I have a ton of the hockey seasons and a couple of baseball. I specifically like the football. I really do on the PC. Those games, I don't like to play those too much cards and dice, but on the computer, I really do like them. Let's see. Jim. Here we go, Jim. Eventually, the historians are going to admit that human civilization has been around a lot longer and has been repeatedly destroyed by man-made and natural disasters, forcing us to relearn everything. That's interesting. Well, they keep talking about Atlantis, how advanced Atlantis was, and maybe we did. Maybe we wiped this out, and now we're back. And
You never know.
we build it all up again, and we're going to destroy it and start all over again someday. I'm kind of hoping I don't see that, but you never know. Let's see, midlife crisis. I do have a question that I thought about today while watching Al's video.
Okay.
He seems to really like he really seems to love certain teams like 1945 Army.
Yes. Is there a question here? Oh.
Do you guys have a specific team that you love to replay within a specific game engine?
I had a lot of fun with the 85, 86 Celtics and Strat basketball. That's just a fun team to play. Not like Al. I don't have a fixation with the 63 Patriots or 45 Army. I will say this: if you are trying out a new game or a game that you're not quite sold on yet, to have a favorite team to go through or a team that you know well is a good way to determine whether you like the game or not. Because if they play the way that you think they should play, the game engine's going to work from you.
When I play hockey games, I love to always, if I get especially a brand new game.
You're a huge fan of the 70-71 Bruins.
Yeah, I like to play early to mid 70s, and I like to start off with Boston versus the California Seals. That's my go-to thing. Anytime if I got to print out a couple of teams, I think when you got me the big bet hockey one time, and I think you got me another hockey game one time, I think, PDF, and so I printed out Boston, California. And that's what I would play. And because it's like a really good team against a really bad team. You know how I feel about the Seals, whatever. So that's my go-to thing. Even when I first played Strat, it was Boston, California. And it just was fun playing the Seals against the Bruins. Usually the Bruins would win. And so part of it was so the Bruins win and I have a good experience with the game. Mm-hmm. If I were to play Montreal, Boston, and Montreal beat Boston, then I'd be bummed out about that. And that's not my first impression of the game I want. So I want the Bruins to smash the Seals, and that's how I learn a game, something like that. And I also like to see how a really good team plays in a game and how a bad team plays in a game.
That makes sense.
And I did that one time with Hockey Blast. I got the 74-75 season, and I played the Seals. And I think it was the Scouts. It was either Seals Capitals or Seals Scouts. Two of the worst teams in that season. And hardly anybody had stars or skills. And so it was just, how is this game going to handle two bad teams? When it says, take the shot, how many stars do you have can you even score with this amount of bad players, because the more stars, the better the chances you are at scoring. And so I purposely tried that out, and surprisingly had a fun game in Hockey Blast with the two worst teams in the league. So sometimes I'll do that too. I'll take some bad teams like the Scouts or something like that. I tend to play a lot opening night Scouts at the Leafs, 74-75. Scouts' first game ever. And the Scouts give them a game. Every time the Scouts give the Leafs a game. I think they tied one time, but mostly they lose by like one goal. But that's a fun game to play. So as far as like, do I have any favorite teams? Yeah, for hockey, it's usually early 70s Bruins against the Seals, or something from 74-75 is kind of what I like to do. I also like to play old Rangers and Blackhawks games. Tony Esposito, Gilles Gilbert, Rod Gilbert, guys like that I like to play. Jeff says he'll be seeing the Flyers in person out in Anaheim on Friday night.
Oh, fun.
All right, hopefully it'll be a better game. Is this going to be a long story? It's always a long story. Doug, no, it was not RBI baseball. This was more of a cartoony game, and I can't think of the.
Wasn't backyard, was it?
No. It was it's in my Steam library, and I could look it up real quick. But I played it on the PlayStation 4, and I loved it. Or the Xbox 360 was one of those. I really liked it, and they were bought by EA, and now they're. Yeah, and someone will know the name of this game before. They brought it up in the chat room before. Let's see. Tecmo also made 3 other sports. I would like to see Kerry do other sports. The statistical accuracy of PSF is incredible. No doubt it can be done with 3 other major sports.
He's talked about baseball, but I
Yeah.
think he really has taken. I mean, this is now his full-time job. He's retired from whatever it was that he was doing, and I think that just wipes him out. We talked with Mark Cohen, who Digital Diamond Baseball, which is also a one-person effort, and I think it just is pretty much they're wiped after a development. In fact, I think Mark said that he's starting for 12. There are 548 different new ideas he'll be sorting through.
Yes, I saw him post that. Yeah,
and so that. Again, we're literally outside of Strat, who I believe has 4 different programmers for the 4 different games. I mean, these really are 1 or 2 people operations at most.
Yeah, and he just keeps adding to it, and so I'm interested to see what it's going to be. I'm trying to see if I can find that game.
Bernie knows what it is, right?
Super Mega Baseball. Super. See, it's a weird name too. It's just a very arcadey name. Super Mega Baseball. And then I think they're on version 3 or 4 right now, and it's just so not what it was. But it was Super Mega Baseball. You had big bats, and you had men and women and old men and fat old men, and you had Santa Claus and Colonel Sanders. You could really customize your lineup and control your pitches a little bit. It just was a fun arcadey game, and I enjoyed it very much. And now I don't enjoy it all that much. And it's expensive now, too. I looked at it on Steam. Yeah, it's pretty expensive. Let's see. JT Dutch says, NES had some classic baseball games like RBI, Bad News Baseball, Baseball Simulator 1.0. Keith stops by. Hi, Keith.
Hello,
Thanks
Keith.
for coming by. And Midlife Christ says, the Egyptian government is very strict about what they let people investigate. Yeah. I mean, I think back in the day, anybody could go in and as long as you didn't destroy anything, you could look around. But now that, they've got, like I say, committees and oversight committees and armed guards, and it's just, you just can't go over there anymore. I love, that's kind of like my one place I'd like to go in the world and just look at those things, because I saw the Grand Canyon one time, and it's jaw hit the ground.
Oh, I'm sure.
That's the only thing that I've ever been blown away by in my lifetime was the Grand Canyon. We drove to California back in the 80s. I remember snaking through, and it's all trees, and you couldn't see anything. And there was a break in the trees, and you saw the canyon, and it just was like, so we pulled over at the first stop to go look, and it just, you just felt this big when you saw the Grand Canyon in person. You just can't believe how big it is. It just blew my mind. I must have taken 5 rolls of foot pictures back then. That's how, and I still got all those pictures somewhere. But they did say too that they did find somebody found some Egyptian stuff in the Grand Canyon, and the United States government is kind of guarding that now. So, why would there be Egyptian symbols in the Grand Canyon? How would you get there? So it's interesting to see. Conspiracy theories abound, but sometimes those rabbit holes are fun, just to get down and see what people think and just kind of let your mind run wild. He says VR baseball way back in the day for the PlayStation was straightforward fun. I never liked that. I didn't like VR. It just wasn't my thing. Jim says the current head of the Egyptian history wants to prevent it so they can't prove the pyramids were built before the Egyptians. Interesting. Well, somebody built them. Somebody built those things, and they did it brick by brick. But these bricks are huge. They're the size of cars.
Right.
And you see all the old movies, how they were like lugging the bricks, and maybe they did it that way. I heard somebody else said that they made the bricks in the place, and so they had the frame, they dropped all the stuff in and let it harden in place. So they didn't really have to take the full brick up there. So maybe they somehow ran water up there. I heard there was a lot of water back in the day running through there, so it's not like it is now.
Right.
But it's interesting. It'd really be interesting to see to go back in time and just see that. I don't know. I've always been intrigued by that stuff there. JT says, I think the Egyptian government feels like tourism might take a hit if the intrigue about how the pyramids were built dies down.
No, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it doesn't serve their interest to remove the mystery. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, imagine that. Imagine if they went inside like the Sphinx or one of the pyramids and they found like some crazy technology that with like lights and levers and stuff like that. It just, holograms. It's like that would just blow people's mind. It really would. It would just destroy everybody's vision of how the pyramids were built. And yeah. Jim says he has a hard time getting the inside PC sports games to run. Sometimes you run into issues with them. I think it was on one of my computers, I had to go and download, I want to say it was an INI file or something like that. And it took me about a half hour or so to find this file, download it, and put it in the right folder. But once I did that, it did work. It just took some time, and it was one big pain in the neck. I'm not going to lie. And let me see. Yeah, we had 50 people in here, give or take. Yeah, we haven't been on in a while, so we want to come say hi to people and get people caught up on. We haven't done a weekly show. It's been a little bit more sporadic, and that's due to my personal issues, my health issues, my work schedule, and then Ron's got some new things going on over there with him. Plus his OnlyFans. So I mean,
something has to be successful. Why they want to watch me eat chips, I don't know, but people pay for that.
Yeah, you want to hear a funny OnlyFans story?
Yeah.
So I told you I've been listening to a lot of these Reddit things on YouTube, and I stumbled down a rabbit hole of like cheating spouses stories. Whether they're true or not, you don't know, but they're interesting stories. And there was one about a guy had a son, and he married again, and the son didn't get along with the new wife, and they were arguing one day, and the father's telling the son, hey, you got to treat her with respect. You can't be talking to her like this. He says, yeah, well, why don't you go on our OnlyFans page and tell her that? So the father creates an account, anonymous account on OnlyFans, finds his new wife on OnlyFans.
Well,
sets up a time to meet her, so he had to pay her. So he paid her with a credit card to meet her at a hotel to
bust her.
Do your imagination what they were going to do. So he shows up at the hotel, right? She opens the door, all scantily clad, dressed with a glass of wine, and there's her husband at the door. And she like just dropped the glass of wine and just like busted, but that was her job, and the son knew it, and he finally said, this is why I don't like her. Stories like that.
Apparently this is a true story. Michael Jordan's son is dating Scottie Pippen's ex-wife. And
Oh.
not only that, I believe she's a few years younger than Pippen and Jordan. And so Jordan was the best man at Pippen's wedding. And so he apparently they are engaged or about to get engaged, and he wants his dad to be the best man at as he marries Scotty. Oh, oh
Ooh.
yeah, true story, absolutely true story. Can you
That is
imagine?
that is nuts.
Ah,
That is crazy. Bernie says, building up, destroying it, and building again. You just described Las
yeah,
Vegas.
yes,
Is
yeah.
that the Raiders or just Las Vegas in general? You know.
Oh,
Larry says, happy to see the
yeah.
replay gamer back to dropping content again. Yes, yes. I love seeing him do his thing there, and I'm happy to see he's playing Appa baseball because I know I know it's not his favorite game because he talks about other games, but it's good to see him playing different things. And that's what I like to do too. I have my favorites, but I also like to try some different things out. It's fun playing some different games. It just makes the channel a little bit more diverse and just playing some fun games. 007. I learned from watching videos here on YouTube. It was also how I get into playing inside pitch. So I watched a lot of RJL videos and videos going over the rules. Oh, gee, yeah, if you
He
want to
makes
learn
that
it,
game thing. He really does.
he is the best. RJL is the best when it comes to inside pitch by far.
Absolutely.
He just is. There's none better than him. And yes, Everett, it was Super Mega Baseball. Yep, it was. No, it wasn't high heat. It was definitely Super Mega Baseball. Oh, Mike of the truck. We were talking about Mike's video in his football game today. I was watching that. He had the Giants in San Francisco playing and the SRS ratings and all that stuff. So I was watching him play that game. And now that things have settled down a little bit, a little bit, I got to try to check that out. I got to print out a couple of teams and the instructions and see if I can do that. Let's see here. What else we got here? Midlife crisis. I'm a big fan of the Dolphins from the 70s through the Dan Marino era. He's played opening day, 72 Dolphins, Chiefs, and 4 or 5 different game engines over the year, and the Chiefs has won every time. So that's his favorite team that he likes to play.
Versus Dawson, huh?
Yeah. Yep. Max, Cards and Dice Dugout. Thanks for coming by.
Thank you.
Tony La Russa Baseball 2 was a lot of fun back in the day, especially when the stadium graphics add-on disc. Imagine that, add-on disc.
Add-on disc, yep.
All the stuff that we used to do back in the day. DJ, I've been driving, so I couldn't chat. He loves hoops, cards, and dice. Bank shot is pretty good, too. Bank shot basketball.
Okay.
Excited for the new season of Inside the Crease. Dave, thinking about you. Hope it's getting better. We'll see. We'll see what my results come in. I go back to the doctor next week, and I send in test results, and hopefully...
Yeah.
Hopefully we can fix it. Hopefully I can be around for a while so we can get more episodes of Digital to Dice in. And, I still have a lot of unplayed seasons that I need to stop playing.
I know that Hoops, Cards, and Dice has a lot of seasons.
Oh, Hoops does? Okay, good.
Yeah.
Keith says the Big Hurt was a fun one, too. Midlife. Can't get the 17-0 Dolphins to win their first game in a 72 replay. That's funny. I
still think the 73 Dolphins were better.
yeah. Now I'm thinking of Dusty Diamond's All-Star Softball for NES. So ahead of its time. You drafted your own team, and guys had varying attributes and special powers. Interesting.
Quotes. Ha! What did they drink? Alice in Wonderland baseball? One pill makes your bat smaller.
Right?
Right.
Midlife crisis has been to the Grand Canyon twice. It really is amazing. Think about 1/1000th the size of the canyon on Mars. Wow, yeah, that's something else, huh? I haven't been to Mars yet.
Well, I'll get you a cup of Drunken Donuts, and you can go to Mars.
I used to listen to a lot of old time radio
Mm-hmm.
on the satellite network. I haven't listened in many years, but that was my go-to thing for many, many years was the old-time radio, The Shadow, and things like that.
The scenes from Planet X or whatever.
Yeah, it was like X-1, and that was the big sci-fi one there, and Dimension X, and everything was X that was space. But I remember like a lot of the shows, because they were made probably in the 30s, 40s, and 50s, I think these shows were written. And I remember one of them, never forget. And it's like, all these space sounds. It's like the year 1988. The Earth has set up colonies on Mars and Venus. And it's like 1988. And it's like, so it was probably 30 or 40 years in the future for
Right.
them. And I'm like, man, if you guys only knew.
If
Like,
you only knew.
it's like, we have gone to Mars. We've shot a couple of rockets there to look around, but it says we have not colonized space, and I love all these shows. It's, God, the last transport to Mars is leaving. Last transport to Mars. And so it's like all these sci-fi shows, and they just thought that we were going to be, because, we probably started flying rockets back then, that they thought we were going to be colonizing the whole.
George Jetson was supposedly born last year. I think.
Really?
I believe the Jetsons were set in 2063, which would have made sense in 100 years in the future. And so he was about 40. So, yeah, if George Jetson exists, he was born last year.
Wow. That is something else. Rupert Holmes would be proud.
If you like pina coladas, yes.
Jamie says, Saber Games Committee had interesting video where the discussion of attribute-driven versus stat-driven came up.
Who was it? Derek Bain, I believe, is the chair of the gaming committee. He's on Facebook. He just posts a lot of always interesting stuff.
And yes, I do like pina coladas.
No.
And getting caught in the rain.
Maybe. I'm not into health food.
They were really sweet, but they were good. I like coconut, so I think pina colada had coconut in them. Oh, Noble coming by. Hi, Noble. Played hoops for the first time last week, and a really good, fun game. Okay.
Yeah, a lot of seasons available, too.
I got to check that out, see how it plays.
Never played it.
Marlon says, what do you think of 4th Street Baseball? ID was playing that the other day. So I've never played it.
I haven't either.
So I'm really not sure much about that one.
Really can't comment on that one.
Yeah. And Kurt Berglund, a good turnout for his Milwaukee APA baseball tournament last weekend. Good for him. Yep.
Someone had the 61 Yankees.
Oh, really?
And Mantle went off, and like one game had 4 home runs and drove in 8.
Oh, nice.
That's always fun to do in a tournament game, with people who can appreciate that.
I had in my game today, let me grab my score sheet. In my 76 Red Sox Orioles game that I played, Reggie Jackson was on the Orioles.
That's right.
And he doubled in Bobby Grich in one of the innings there. In the 4-1 win. So, yeah, that was a fun one. Reggie Jackson, he just played 1 year, you said, right, with Baltimore?
Yeah, he went to the Yankees after free agent.
So what was he? Oakland,
Baltimore, and then 5 years in New York, and then he went into California.
So he played with 4 teams. Okay. Yep, Reggie Jackson was I like Reggie. Reggie's one of my favorite players. His candy bar was great too.
That's about the only thing I liked about Reggie growing up was his candy bar.
Mike says Buck Rogers was in the 25th century.
That's right. Yeah. Or Duck Dodgers of the 25th, when Daffy Duck.
Yeah. Old-time radio shows can be great. The Whistler is good too. The Whistler. Yeah. You know what's funny about a lot of the shows there? A lot of the themes in those old-time radio shows, especially the mystery ones, were the people that had the rich uncle or the rich father or the rich son, and they were trying to find a way to kill him off to get the money, their inheritance early. And it's like, come on, Diane, if we can get this old geezer to croak, we'll be rich. I know, darling, but he is my uncle, and I'm supposed to be caring for him. He's old. He's lived his life. Let's just, see if
he's 58. He's time to go.
Yeah, he's my age. It's time to go. And it's all about them trying to connive to get the money, and then somehow they do it, but in a Twilight Zone way. It backfires on them, and they either end up in jail or they end up dead or something.
Or I didn't die after all.
Yeah, I knew you were coming for my money. But yeah, so those shows are great too. They really are. So yeah, Everett is talking about the old time radio shows and the Whistle. Yeah, they're really great. Philip just started his quest for 61. Good job. Let me see. World's Worst Gamer. Anyone find out Strat app and other companies haven't come out with branded dice towers to make more money? That's actually not a bad idea, all things considering.
Yeah.
And I know Strat has a lot of like hats and shirts and stuff like that. I don't particularly care for the logo, but
It
if
took
they,
Strat into the mid '90s to go from 20 the 20 cards to a 20-sided die.
yeah, this is
When
true.
I
Yeah,
first bought Strat, we had to shuffle every 3 innings, so you knew, especially if the one came up, one or the 20, because like nope, now you got to reach. So yes,
well, this is why I don't like dice on my fast action cards. I like my dice to
yeah,
be completely random. Fast action cards. What I like about fast action cards, if they can speed up a game, so you're not doing a lot of the monotonous work.
right.
Um, that's what I like out of my fast action, like shootout hockey. Boom. You flip a card. So instead of rolling dice, you flip a card. This, done. Instead of this, and this, and done. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
Yeah.
instead of that, so I do like the fast action cards when they can help a game along. Like I said, the payoff pitch has them, but there's still so much else going on beyond the fast action cards. I think because I did buy the fast action cards, and I remember trying it. And it's like, oh, I'm still going back to the charts for things. But now that I played Strat Advanced, maybe now my horizons are expanding a little bit more. Maybe I should go back and revisit that game and see what I can do with that.
Yeah.
Midlife Crisis. Watched a 50-year-old interview with Isaac Asimov. Did he play for the Yankees?
Yes.
He did. Okay. He
Yeah.
predicted the smartphone to a T. Yeah. Yep.
Go watch some of Arthur C. Clarke's interviews too. He predicted a lot of.
Really?
Yeah.
What do we got here? JT, 4th Street seems
Yeah, I've
quite
seen it a
intriguing.
few times, but yeah, never.
Yeah.
Speaking of mysteries, don't ask me how I got down this Perry Mason rabbit hole. But when the TV show came, because Perry Mason was from a series of short novels by Earl Stanley Gardner.
Mm-hmm.
And he was still alive when the original TV show, as Dave leaves. Dave doesn't want to hear my story. Oh, ooh, thanks for that scrape.
Okay.
I held the story for you as you.
No, I was just getting somebody asked about this. So I'm going to talk about
Okay.
this when you're done.
And so Earl Stanley Gardner was still alive when the TV show went into production, based on novels or short stories and such. And Barbara Hale and Raymond Burr had great chemistry together.
Oh, I like
And they
Raymond Burr.
Oh yeah, and they kind of wrote that into the show. And so, but Earl Stanley Gardner made it very clear that there was to be no hanky-panky between Perry and Della Street. Although they had such chemistry, it was kind of hard not to infer that. But yeah.
All right, so over here, Marlon Price asked me, "Tell us about your no-hit game, please. I've come close, but no cigar."
Yeah, your accidental no-hit game.
So here's the sheet that I have here.
What that is.
That's what that is. Let me go solo. I'll just show
Yep.
that so you guys can see this for 1 second. All right. So that's kind of what happened. Do I have the angle right here?
I could see it.
So that's how the no hitter went. That was Clemens playing. That was I think the 88 A's or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what happened. The Sox down the bottom got 7 runs. All right, so I'll just let me go back to this here. So let me just read off what happened here. Just having some fun tonight. So Louis Polonia, who I'm not familiar with, he popped out to the catcher. Dave Henderson struck out, and Jose Canseco grounded to first base. First to pitcher. Second inning, Mark McGuire struck out. Terry Steinbeck grounded out, and Don Baylor popped out. And then in the third, Phillips flew out to center. Glenn Hubbard struck out, and Walt Weiss flied to center. 1-2-3, 1-2-3, 1-2-3. In the fourth, Polonia struck out. Henderson struck out. Canseco popped up. In the fifth, McGuire lined out the first. Steinbeck struck out, and Baylor grounded out. So through 5, it was 1-2-3, 1-2-3, 1-2-3. In the sixth inning, Phillips grounded out, Hubbard flied out, and Matt Weiss hit it down to second base, and Marty Barrett committed an error. So that was the first base runner of the day was on that error. And then Lou Polonia, top of the inning, top of the order, struck out. So it was 1, 2, 3 through 5 innings, but in the 6th, there was an error. In the 7th, Henderson grounded out, Canseco popped out, McGuire walked, and then Steinbeck grounded out. Now we're in the 8th. Baylor walked, and I think, I don't know if he stole or he went out, he got out going a second somehow. Phillips hit into a 6-3 out, and maybe that was a double play, and then Hubbard flew out. So they got the lead runner on with a walk, and then there was basically, the rest of the guys got out. In the 9th, and this is when I realized it was a no-hitter, Walt Weiss, the shortstop, the 9th hitter, flied out. Lou Polonia walked, and then Henderson hit into a double play to end the game.
I've never had a cards and dice no hitter.
That's kind of how my no hitter went, and that was on 5/14/23 or something like that. I got it written down at the top here, but yeah. So just having some fun with that. So I put that up on the wall, and yeah, and I was showing off my camera, and I didn't realize it, and then I got nervous. I didn't want to say anything, and I was like, guys, I think I got a no-hitter going here in the 9th. And the A's, that team, I mean, no, I didn't pinch hit or anything like that, but I mean, Canseco, Henderson, McGuire, Baylor, and no one could get a hit off of Clemens. Oh, by the way, it was Clemens on the mound that day. Appa. That was fun. That was crazy. Let's see, where are we? Where are we in the chat room? Where are we now? Hi, Kenny, coming by here.
Kenny.
Any more second season football game on Pro Football Hub? But yeah, at some point I will. Excuse me.
Bless you.
Thank you. I had to sneeze there on that one. Yeah, I need to pull out the Pro Football Helper again and get back into that. Noble says 4th Street games, you have to like long play games. 4th Street games, you sure get the feel of an actual game. I did hear that, and I forget who brought that up, but somebody did say that the 4th Street games, they were long games. They were, hour and a half, 2-hour games. But you got a lot of ingredients in there. This was not a quick play game or medium play game, but you got a lot in there. So I did hear that. I should probably check that out, one of them anyway, to see, probably the hockey or the baseball, maybe the football too. Sports Time Machine, Classic Baseball on the Radio is an awesome YouTube channel with amazing inventory. Yeah, I do that with hockey once in a while. I'll go back and I'll put on an old hockey game and listen to it at night. And like as a kid, I used to love listening to hockey on the radio. I used to have a good time with that. What about a digital to dice tower? Boy, I know we got to start marketing some things, Jucket, don't we? That's an idea. I might look into that. And JT says, thanks a lot to people who recorded those games that I find on Classic Baseball or other YouTube channels. It's wonderful to have those. Somewhere I have a whole bunch of videotapes of the Bruins playoff run in '88, I think it was, when they played Hartford and stuff like that. I have those tapes somewhere, but
There was a guy in Albany, New York, who just had the reel-to-reel, I believe, the first year for the Mets. And also, the Yankees were really good in the early 60s, too. And he sat there every night and recorded those games. And that's why they exist, because the teams didn't keep that stuff then.
Is this the same guy that you would tell me that there was somebody that, like I say, the radio? No, it was one of the Super Bowls. You said somebody had a recording of a Super Bowl somewhere, and the TV station didn't even have it.
Right,
and the NFL didn't have it.
Super Bowl one.
Yeah, and someone had it somewhere, and they asked, and the guy.
They honestly don't know how he got it, because he actually recorded it onto broadcast quality tape. It wasn't the crappy whatever was around then. And so yes, and there's been a custody fight of the tape between the family and the NFL for years, because the tape is worth a lot of money.
Right.
Because there's been clips that I've seen of it. I believe it's Super Bowl one was the only Super Bowl to be broadcast on 2 different networks.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Because CBS was the NFL network and NBC was the AFL network. And the tape that exists is the CBS, the NFL production of Super Bowl one. But yes, Super Bowl 2 does not exist in video form. Super Bowl 3 was the first one I got saved. Ironically enough, because it was the Jets.
Michael says he just played History Maker Baseball, the 73 Twins and the 73 A's, in which Reggie Jackson went 4 for 4. Three singles and a doubles. The A's won 3-0 behind Holtzman. Three hit shutout with 10 Ks. Yeah, I love it. I actually played I think I lost it when I got my new computer here. I think because I was playing A's. Was I playing 73 or 74 A's?
74. You bought the 74 season.
Yeah, I have 74 season. I was playing the A's, but I think that season got lost because of I don't know, maybe I saved it, maybe I didn't, because I don't think I can save it in the cloud or anything like that. But yeah, so I think I lost that season when I got my new computer here, so I'd have to start over.
Now that would be something that Strat should be looking into. Saving your seasons in the cloud.
I wonder if it saves as a file. Maybe I brought the file in.
Yeah, you could certainly, if you import export, yeah.
Maybe I did do that. Maybe I did. Larry says, grew up in Lancaster, PA.
Oh, cool.
What a great memory to go to the Apple Company building to pick up the newest season. Yeah, that would be kind of cool. Perry Mason began his books. Did not know that. I will read some. Oh, that's interesting.
Earl Stanley Gardner.
That's really kind of cool. I remember the Nancy Drew mysteries as a kid, and the Hardy Boys and stuff like that. I used to read those as a kid. David said that was a fun game to watch. I'm not sure if he's talking about my app, no hitter, or another game. But
yeah, because you streamed that.
Funny that you framed the game, because I thought recently about how I wanted to wallpaper my place with my box scores from Cards and Dice games. And if you own the place, I'd be cool. Yeah. No, I just had a little frame here. I think I picked it up at the bargain store for like $2 or something like that. And I said, damn it, I'm going to put this up on the wall, And now I have it. And he says his closest was 8.2 innings with McCormick replay.
Wow, that's pretty good.
I did, I had a game, was it Strat? It wasn't APA. I think it was before I played APA. It might have been Payoff Pitch. I want to say it was Payoff Pitch. And Nolan Ryan was pitching against somebody else. And this was when I first started to play, so I might have been playing things wrong. But it was Nolan Ryan had a no-hitter going into the 11th. And both pitches were not fatigued. They were mowing him down. And I think it was 0-0 going into the 11th or something like that.
I vaguely remember that, yeah.
And finally, in like the 12th inning, somebody doubled. They walked and doubled home the game-winning run, but I blew the no-hitter just because Ryan's team couldn't score. And I forget if I was playing Texas, the Angels, or whoever I was, Houston. I forget who I was playing. Probably American League team. And he just couldn't get him out. I don't think I saved the game sheet. But I think it was Payoff Pitch, and just was like, wow, I got a no-hitter going here, but the game's still going. So I didn't want to take him out. He's got a no-hitter, so I left him in, but probably shouldn't have at that point. But
35 years, I've never done it, and you've had 2. There you go.
Yeah. So Cleveland, his baseball stand says his closest was 8.2 innings in McCormick replay. Team. Philip says he's done a one-hitter.
Oh, cool.
Yep. First and only Cards and Dice no-hitter for me was 43 years ago. Wow. That's pretty good. Yeah. Yeah, who pitched? We want to know. Speaking of dice towers, is there a good one to buy that also curbs the noise of the dice rolls? Anything with felt. Anything with felt. Especially if you want to stream it. Because I kind of hate hearing the dice. It gets in, because sometimes I'll listen at night, and I like to hear the person talk about the game, and you click, 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 click. Yeah, it wakes you up, But yeah, you want to get one with felt. I got mine from Hobby Zone, I think it was. It's a company called Hobby Zone, and it's all felt, and it's completely silent. I drop it down. You don't hear anything. It's so quiet. It's great. Let me see. Marlon says he loves your humor as you announce games. I don't think you. Are you funny when you do your games? You think you're funny? Do you tell jokes?
I sing. I tell jokes. I do impressions.
You sing. You do impressions? Give me an impression.
Why? Why should I humor you? You're just going to make fun of me anyway.
I don't know who that was.
It was me.
It was terrible.
Yeah, I can't even do my own impression.
Midlife says, my first set of Strat, when you could pay for any 6 teams, you get 6 more for like a buck. Mixed season cards, 79 Palmer. Perfecto versus the
Wow.
Reds, 75 Reds. 75 Reds,
The
really?
75 Reds. The
Woo!
the pride of Glens Falls, New York, David Palmer getting it done against the big red machine.
Nice. Jamie says, if you don't turn it off in
Yeah.
Action PC, we'll put a banner out in the 5th inning, announce the pitcher's throwing a no-hitter, a perfect game, and we'll jinx it. Wow.
I've never had that happen before, especially I've had a couple in action. I've had one in action PC in the game called Strategic Baseball Simulator. I had a World Series clincher. I've told this story before. In 49, Fred Sanford, who was a scrub pitcher
Oh, yes,
for
yes.
the Yankees,
Yep.
took a no-hitter into the 9th inning against Brooklyn in the World Series clincher. That's as close as it's ever come to actually showing.
I remember you was talking about that. You're like, this guy just a Joe Blow off the bench, and he's like,
Absolutely.
yeah, that's what makes it fun. It really is. Reel to reel of the first year of the Mets.
Yeah, absolutely true.
Yep. NFL Network had the radio broadcast of Super Bowl
Radio broadcast existed. That I believe the Baseball Hall of Fame has all the World Series back to the mid 30s. But as far as what's television saved, it was nothing. I mean, our videotape was $200 in 1965.
Yeah.
Do the inflation for that stuff just got reused.
Bruh, yeah, you had to. Any Apple hockey coming up on the chat? Yep, as soon as I get things squared away, I got another week or so of really busy work and dealing with some things, and I definitely want to get Appa and Hockey Bones, any kind of hockey back here on the channel. And David said yes. He said he saw the no-hitter live that night. That was fun. Marco Polo, good to see you. Hope it was all as well. I guess, I had a depressing day. Anytime you go to the hospital, it's depressing. But we'll see how it goes,
So the smart ass that I can be, there was when they bring out sandwiches at the coffee shop, they call the person's name.
Mm-hmm.
And so apparently they had someone by the name of Marco come in and order a sandwich. And so Marco, and I went,
Yeah.
Polo. Yeah. 51 years old. Good job. Great.
Yeah,
effort.
that's what we do. Noble says it was Ferguson Jenkins.
Oh, nice.
That pitched his no-hitter. Only no-hitter I ever rolled. Cool.
He's pretty active on Facebook. If you do Facebook, you probably could send a message to him like that. He'd probably be pretty tickled.
Nice.
He does a lot with cigars. I believe he also has an alcoholic beverage, hard liquor that he's pushing. But yeah,
who is the guy that come out of the dugout? I mean, the bullpen. I don't know if it was the 70s or the 80s. And they used to have a clock because it used to take like a minute and a half to 2 minutes to go from the bullpen to the mound.
Wow.
I want to say he played for the Cubs, like a Lee May or something May. And I remember that I was watching the game one time. I was like, oh, they're calling him out of the bullpen. Let's get the clock going. So they had this little clock running like, 1, 2, 3, 4. And he just took his sweet time walking to the mound. It was a long walk. It was like the Undertaker at WrestleMania, And they used to time him. It was hysterical. I think he played for the Cubs. Big husky black pitcher, I think it was.
Lee Smith?
Yeah, I think it might have been Lee Smith. And it was just that was his thing. That was his entrance. It was kind of neat. He had an entrance before there was an entrance. You know what I mean? Rob Scott, if things continue as they are so far, I'm definitely buying a hockey board game for the 23 season. Go Canucks. Oh, the Canucks playing good? I guess so. I haven't seen that. I know the Sharks are bad, and Vegas and Boston and the Rangers are good. Jamie, first ever no-hitter in a game I was playing was Jose Guzman with the 86 Rangers on Micro League Baseball. Interesting. Midlife says, fan roll. Get the tower and the tray. They fold up, pop up for portability.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah. Vince Skulls Run, says Marlon. Yep, there he is. 007, when I was learning how to play inside pitch on the PC, I rolled a perfect game.
Wow.
Well. Hang on. If you were learning it, maybe you made some mistakes because you're learning it. You never know.
You don't take that away.
No, you don't take it away. I'm only
You
kidding.
don't take it away.
Only kidding. I've had to go back sometimes and look what I did. It's like, did I screw up? Did I mess that up? Yeah, good to see Marco back. It is.
Yeah.
It really is. And World West Games is looking forward to see Quinn Hughes as a Devils player in 27-28. And the Canucks are off to a good start. Yep. And Hughes is so smooth on his blade. Yeah. We'll wrap up a couple more things and we'll do it up here. When are you going to show off those Mint Strat 85 Bears? Yes, we want to know that. Oh, Jeff, Lee Smith. Okay,
Yeah.
Good. It was Lee Smith. Yep. I don't know if there's any videos of that, but I remember as a kid watching that and the announcers just laughing as he took his time. I think it was only Mike Lee no-hitter. We played that game, honestly, for several years.
I played that, Jamie.
John Rocker used to run from the bullpen. Yep. I remember the little bubble carts there. I used to love those things. The little golf carts with the big head on it there. They got to bring those back. They're really good.
The Yankees would bring them out in a station wagon.
Check any stat in the league. Yeah, like I say, I haven't followed it too much. I've been kind of busy. Every now and then I'll sit and I'll listen to a game on the radio, but I haven't followed the stats too much. Let me see. Bob, thanks for coming by, Bob. Mike Scott, 85 Astros, perfect versus the Giants Strat dice.
Wow.
One
Good for
and
you, Bob.
only.
Good for you.
That's kind of neat. What was the score in that game? Because, that's National League, so I imagine that the pitchers are hitting, and so at some point, pitchers never really played full games because you want to get DHs in there, or pinch hitters, I should say. So I wonder what the score was. I mean, if that's a 1-0 game and you're in the 8th or 9th inning and you got like a couple men on base, don't you almost want to think about taking the pitcher out and bringing in a hitter? But with a no-hitter, what do you do? Do you go for the no-hitter or do you try to win the game with a batter, Interesting. Mike says had Aaron Nola pitch a no-hitter in his 22 Strat League. Then 1 week later, 5 Brewers pitchers combined a no-hitter.
Those are cool. I know people don't really like them as much, but it's cool when you have a group of pitchers do that.
And Marco has not gotten the 85 Bears yet. Oh, Marco. You need to get those 85 Bears.
Go Bears.
Tony comes by. He says he played a 4th Street 2006 game. Corey Little pitched a no-hitter, and in the same game, Jimmy Rollins hit for the cycle. Wow. That's kind of neat. I've never had anybody hit for the cycle. I don't even know if I've come close.
I had one, and someone had to point it out.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I kind of pay attention now because towards the end of the game, but never had a 4 home run game. Never had a cards and dice no-hitter.
Oh, nice. Well, let's wrap things up here. I didn't know how long we'd go here tonight, but we did want to come on and say hi and let everybody know what's going on. If all goes well, we're going to record a show Sunday. It really all depends on how things go. I think that's the one day that I'm not at a hockey rink. I don't know what kind of voice I'll have because I'm going Thursday, Friday, Saturday night. But it is fun. And again, I did post on Digital to Dice Facebook group. I posted a link to the video. They did a little montage of the 14 goals that were scored this weekend. They won 8-1 and 6-3. So the 14 goals that the team scored, and there's me calling all the goals. And they come out pretty good, I thought. If you get a chance, let me know what you think. But I thought I got pretty good calls on all those goals for the most part. So anyway. Let me see. Got a couple more people coming by. Thespian. If we're talking perfect games, and we are, last year it might have been 2 years ago, Jerry Kuzman pitching for the 73 Mets. Mets pitched a no-hitter for me playing Diamond Mine baseball. Mets won 1-0.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. Nola tied Seaver's consecutive strikeout record, which had never been matched before. Then Corbin Burns did a couple. Yeah, nice. The fridge is waiting to be unleashed. Yes, he is. And Bob says his game was 3-0. Okay.
Cool.
And saw Bob Horn hit 4 home runs for the Braves, and they lost.
In 86, yeah.
Imagine that. Noble says Jimmy Fox.
That's cool.
4 home runs. Yep. So that is that.
Double X.
But yeah, thanks everybody for coming by and
thank
sharing
you.
your stories. Thanks for everybody sharing this stuff. That's what we like to do. Come on, and we get to talk to each other and share stories about what happened, and whether it's no hitters or fun things or new games we played or whatever. So we want to thanks. And yeah, back. We're hoping to get a little bit more regular. You know, he's got the new schedule going on. I got a new schedule going on. But we just wanted to come back and talk to everybody and say, hey, we're still here, and Digital to Dice will be up and running again shortly. It's just, you know, I think we did one, a week or so ago.
Only been a week. It hasn't been that long, but
yeah, it's not been weeks. It's just we like to go weekly, but lately, you know, between the two of us, we've just haven't been able to find the hour or two to connect to do that, you know. But hopefully we will. And now that I'm playing stuff again, at least we'll have stuff to talk about. We've been going over topics. If you have any suggestions for topics for the show, obviously get a hold of us and let us know what you'd like to hear us talk about. And if we can talk about it, we will. But we have a few that we were kicking around. Andrew, thanks for coming by. And Mike, thanks for coming by too. Everybody, thanks for coming by. If you're a cowbell, we need more. We appreciate that. We really do. We appreciate that. So anyway.
That song came on at the coffee shop, and I turned to my wife and go, needs more cowbell.
What song was that?
It's a Blue Oyster Cult's Don't Fear the Reaper.
Oh, that's right. That's right. For the Saturday Night Live skit. Yeah. Okay.
Right. And, you know, such a serious song. And I'm, you know, most important music ever made. And that's now what it's known for. Needs more cowbell.
Yeah. I like how that whole skit, like they're playing, they fight, they break up, and they get back together.
Yeah,
It's
a fantastic skit.
It is. It is one of the best skits out there, especially if you're a musician or a fan of music. There, it is kind of wrapped up music in a whole thing there. But anyway, all righty, folks. So again, just want to come by and say hi and chat. We had a great chat tonight.
Yep.
A lot of fun things we talked about. So I am Dave.
I'm Ron.
Until next time, guys.
Bye-bye.